All I know is war. All I know is shoot. All I want is more, but I got some things to do. I'm a dog of war. Hell's what I've been through. I'm a dog of war. I did it all for you. I'm a soldier, I'm a warrior. Got a emblem on my cover. And ask me what I did for ya. I put the trash deep down under. Yeah, I'm a dog of war. Hell's what I've been through. I'm a dog of war. I did it all for you, yeah.
Took some time in the place, man, I just needed some space. All the pain show in my face and my heart starts to race. Bend up.
Oh, brother, please let us know for last thoughts, our listeners live and on podcast.
All right, we know that I do joke quite often about my attempted escapes from the psych ward, but in all seriousness, the psych ward gang is seriously my idea of representing the military. Representing mental health in the military community. So if you happen to run into any type of mental health crisis or emergency, do not be ashamed nor afraid to dial 988, press option 1. Again, just as I had to do when I was in a moment of crisis, do not be ashamed nor afraid to dial the digits 988 and press option 1 if you find yourself in a similar mental health crisis. Hello. Welcome to the show. This is episode 71 of the WarDawg Trail podcast. Today, I have a heavy hitter for you. I have a war veteran who's going to join us and give you his story and his background. He's big in the 2A gun industry. He's making noise. He's got great tactics. All right. But before I get to him, let's go over a few announcements. All right, be sure to check out my website, sergeantwardawgtv.com. Also, check us out on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. In addition, you can find me on X at Sergeant War. All right. Remember, I am a brand ambassador for Reaper Apparel Co. So you can use my code Sergeant WarDawg TV and receive 10% off of your entire order at reaperapparelco.com. All right, Peace for Warriors is a veterans nonprofit organization that takes veterans to volunteer around the world. If you happen to be a veteran who's lost your purpose or lost your mission in life, consider using your time with peaceforwarriors.org. Remember, I am a co-host with DV Radio. That's Dysfunctional Veterans Radio. We go live every Saturday night at 8 p.m. at dvradio.net. My second podcast, Bullets, Blades, and Hooks, is a podcast in which we interview veterans organizations that take veterans into the outdoors. Whether it's hunting, camping, fishing, or shooting, on Bullets, Blades, and Hooks, we interview organizations that get veterans outdoor therapy. Remember, Sergeant WarDawg TV is your source for outdoor hunting and military TV with swag. All right, good news. I just finished my submitted publishers. So if you want to know my story, of 3 tours in Iraq as a U.S. Marine Infantry Rifleman. My story will soon be hitting the shelves because I have a book that has the same name as this podcast, The WarDawg Trail. Also, my nonprofit, Camp Doghouse, which is a homeless war veterans camp in Central Florida, is now up at campdoghouse.org. Be sure to check out the website to find out about the camp and what we are trying to do for homeless veterans in Central Florida. Next, Sergeant WarDawg TV won 2 awards this year. First, we won Leading Veteran Welfare Outreach Initiative, outreach nonprofit organization from Acquisition International, and that's based in the UK. The next award was also an international award. It came from Corporate Livewire, and we were named Veteran Support Nonprofit Organization of the Year. Those of you that love SHOT Show, we have been selected as media representatives for this year's SHOT Show in Vegas. So next month, you will see us with a media pass at SHOT Show, and we will be one of the few individuals that are able to record, and we have the further privilege of having been invited to Range Day. All right, we've been invited to the Industry Day at the range, and we will be able to shoot brand new guns from Glock, Radiant Weapons, Horizon Firearms, Cadix Defense, and Mitchell Defense. Next, we are now members of the NSSF, we are media members of the NSSF, the National Shooting Sports Foundation. We will soon be members of POMA, the Professional Outdoor Media Association, in terms of our press credentials. And finally, remember, this show airs every day on MBR, Military Broadcast Radio. It airs every day from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on MBR Radio. That is Military Broadcast Radio. All right. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the man of the hour, Sarge Mayhem. Welcome to the show, boss.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm a little jealous that you're getting to go to SHOT Show. A little jealous. I haven't been able to go. That's like people are like, I want to go to the Super Bowl. I'm like, SHOT Show. That's my Super Bowl.
There you go. There you go. Hey, I've never been either, bro. This is gonna be my first trip, and we happen to go ahead and qualify as media this time, so we'll be able to go to the range day. We'll be the ones that are able to shoot as the media, and we'll be able to give live interviews while we're there, bro.
Yeah, send it.
All right. Now, to start us off, please talk about your military background, Sarge Mayhem.
All right. So basically, when it comes to my military background, is I joined the military when I was technically 18 years old. I actually turned 19 in basic training. I turned 20, 21, and 23 in Afghanistan. So
hey, damn,
it
bro,
was
same
very
here.
quick.
Same
it
here.
Was very quick.
I had 3 birthdays in Iraq, bro, so I totally understand what it was like for you, bro.
Yeah, very, very quick. Literally, the day that I started basic training was 1 year later, the day I stepped foot in Afghanistan. Exactly 1 year.
Wow.
And I was like, that was fast.
Yeah.
But I originally came in and I wanted to do Black Hawk mechanic. But they were like, slots taken, can't do it. So I was like, all right. Well, let's go Airborne Ranger. And they were like, okay, you can do that. So they sent me through that. I got injured in an airborne jump, and they were like, can't do airborne ranger. And I was like, all right. And they were like, you can be a cook, you can be a truck driver, or you can do communications. And I was like, comms. Like, straight off the rip, comms. Like, the rest of them I don't really want to deal with. So I went through comm school, came out second in the entire group on scores. Immediately got held over for dental, and they were like, you're supposed to go to Fort Bragg. You're not going to Fort Bragg. Going to Fort Polk. As soon as they said Fort Polk, I was like, I'm going to somewhere. I know I'm deploying. 100%. Like, that's one of those places that you're like, oh, yeah? Okay. You might as well give me my orders to deploy now. But I was like, all right, cool. Now, when I joined, there was a big need. I joined in 2007. There was a big need for people. So, went through all the comm stuff, deployed to Afghanistan. When they were like, hey, you're going to this fire base. And I was like, all right, cool. Going to this fire base. And they're like, you're going to be gunner. And I was like, all right, what am I running up? Am I running a 50 or am I running a grenade launcher? What am I running? And they're like, you're running your M16A2. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah. They're like, we don't have any cruiser weapons to give you. So you're going to have to mount your M16A2 to that, and that's what you're using. By the way, you use this in different directions to turn. Good luck. And I was like, whoa! You know, at this point, I'm 19 years old. I'm just like, holy shit. Yep, out to the fob. It's a 7-minute flight. It's an hour and a half drive. And I was like, oh my god, dude. What are we doing? And that was day one to go into where I would live for the next 15 months.
Really? All right.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah, so like when we originally got deployed, they were like, hey, you're going for a year. They were like, you're the first group, you're going for a year. And I was like, okay, cool. So I went there, and as soon as I landed, boots on ground, they handed me orders, and I was looking at the orders, and you know what orders look like. I'm like, 455 days. Like, I'm no mathematician, but there's only 365 days in a year. And they were like, who told you were staying here for a year? And I was like, the unit. And they were like, no, that's 15 months. Enjoy. Yeah, I was like, oh my god. All right. So 1 year in, first unit you ever been to, and this is what you're getting. You're like, oh, all right, fun times. So,
right on. What province and what city are we talking about, bro?
So I was in the first deployment for 15 months. I was in Kapisa province, which was basically northeastern Afghanistan, where we were 7,000 feet above sea level. I watched it snow 6 inches in an hour, and I was born in Las Vegas, and I basically was raised in Florida. So it was like, what is this? So, like, when we're like, hey, they have these things that go around your boots, and they're like cleats, they dig in so you can stand without busting your ass. I was like, okay, cool. Can we get some of those? Yeah, they gave them to us after the snow had melted, and there was nothing to use them for anymore. And I was like, okay, well, next group gets some good stuff. We don't.
Right on.
But yeah, it was. So there was this pathway that Taliban used to take. they had their training camp in Pakistan. They would come through the mountains, hit us. After they hit us, whoever survived traveled further south, hit Kabul. Whoever survived that went further down into Kandahar. And that was the trail. So we were the first ones that dealt with them before they kept trickling down.
Oh, all right. That's what's
Yeah, it was an interesting learning of life and how people operate and how combat zones operate. I was like, okay, so this is, you got kids that you're involving in this, and I'm like, I don't want to deal with this. This is not what I thought about with combat. I was like, I thought it was just me and you. Now we got somebody else in it. Like, how about we leave them out and it's just me and you? Like, what's going on here?
Gotcha. How many deployments did you end up going on, bro?
So I went on 2 deployments. I went on the first one, that was 15 months, came back, switched duty stations, went to Georgia, was there, deployed again, because I was supposed to go to Ranger School after that, but I got fenced in to a deployment. They're like, no, you're going. And I was like, well, I guess I'll do it after. It was supposed to be a year, but I went for like 9 months and I got medevaced out back to Germany, Longstool, and then they sent me back to the U.S. I went through the Warrior Transition Unit, or whatever they call it, and that's my medical retirement out of the military.
All right, bro. Do you mind talking a little bit about what happened, or you want to leave that off?
So no, I don't mind. My first deployment, I went through a lot of shit. Like, I did communications and stuff like that. Like, I worked with various ODA groups. I worked with 2nd Ranger Battalion. I worked with 10th Mountain, 82nd, 101st. I was working radios for a counter IED team. What's the difference between EOD and counter IED is EOD generally blows them up. Counter IED pulls the bombs out complete, and they go and figure out who built it so we can go find them on the battlefield and take them out. So you have a live bomb in your hands as you're moving this thing, and that's not 100% your job. So it's like, oh, well, that sucks. But I got to work with them. I got to learn a lot of things. And the hardest part about that first deployment to me was 3 months in. So it's 15-month deployment. 3 months in, I went on an R&R because that's when my first daughter was born. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go home and see my daughter be born. I came back and I still had like 11 and a half months before we returned home. So I was like, that's a full deployment for most people.
Yeah.
So I went 11 and a half months with no R&R. And I was out there dealing with all kinds of shit out there. And I was like, all right, when I get back home, just kind of reset whatever. So I came back home, tried to reset, got switched to a different duty station, got there, and I was like, okay, trying to reset from everything, and it just wasn't working. So I went to a doctor, and I was like, dude, I think something's like wrong up here. And they started talking to me and stuff, and I was like, they were like, you have PTSD. And I was like, okay, well, is this something we can deal with? And they were like, well, you have severe PTSD. And I was like, okay, like I'm not a psychologist. I don't know what you're telling me. And he was like, well, the average person with PTSD has like 2 to 4 incidents that caused it. And I was like, okay. And they were like, you have about 11.
Damn, bro.
And I was like, well, shit. And they were like, well, we're going to get you treatment. And they started treating me. Although my unit did not, there was multiple times that I had appointments. My unit would not let me go to my appointment. They were like, no, we don't care. Like, I will I will put you in for UCMJ if you walk away right now. And I'm like, all right. So just when I snap, no big deal, right? Just whatever.
Damn.
But I ended up deploying again with that. But I was like, hey, I want a different role. I don't want to be on the battlefield as much anymore. Like, I'd done my stuff there. Let me be more not that. Well, I ended up doing shit where I basically coordinated and escorted local nationals to build up their wireless network and their internet networks so that we didn't have to be there anymore to do it for them. So I'm going around. Obviously, the Taliban don't want this. So they're shooting at us, and I'm having to deal with that while I have this person I don't even know that's a local national trying to figure this stuff out. And I'm going in there, typing stuff out, building a network, coming back out, doing what I need to do, going back in, doing my shit, coming back out, and it was fucking hell. So I ended up getting a Bronze Star on my way out of the military.
Damn, bro. That's what's up, man. Congratulations, man. Thank you for your sacrifice.
Yeah.
I'll be damned.
Yeah, it was, dude. That's the shit that people don't see is like, They're like, oh, well, you didn't get a Bronze Star with Valor. And I was like, granted, I did not. People hear Bronze Star and think it's, BSM with B. And I was like, no, this one was not. Do you know how hard it was to get just a Bronze Star in general, let alone one with B?
Right.
Like, that stuff's hard.
Yeah.
Like, they don't hand that shit out.
Right. Takes a lot of heroics to get.
Yeah.
Yeah. Takes a whole lot, man. All right, now, if you don't mind, talk to us about how you transitioned from being in the Army to becoming an influencer and posting your stuff online.
Dude, it was hard. So I got out of the military in 2012, and I was still pretty messed up in the head. So I went through like a lot of therapy. I went through a lot of different things, to try and make me better. I've been doing a lot of outpatient shit for years and years, trying different medications, stuff like that to get me right. And it took a while, and then I met my wife, and she started actually helping me balance out a little bit more. Then she was like, well, don't you get free school? And I was like, well, yeah. And she was like, well, why aren't you doing that? So I went back to school, and I got a bachelor's degree in emergency disaster management, counterterrorism, and explosives.
Nice, bro.
And I was like,
nice.
I was like, okay. Well, then she was like, well, you know how to shoot? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, why don't you teach other people? That's the thing, is there's a lot of people that are a lot better at me, or a lot better at shooting than me. However, they just aren't a great teacher. And then there's people that are great teachers that don't know shit about shooting. And it's like, or any aspect of what they're teaching. It's like, So I went and I was like, all right, I'll get my NRA stuff. So I went and I got the NRA certification. Started doing that, started learning how the civilian population is. That started making me angry, and I was like, I don't really want to do this. Just started shooting on my own, doing my own thing. I never really got into posting until I met these games at the store that I worked at, because I was working at Cleansol, love Cleansol, one of my favorite oil companies out there when it comes to gun oil. I was working there because I love their stuff so much. I got to try it, and I was like, I want to see how this shit's made. So I went and I worked for them, and the owner of Cleansol also owns West Armory, store I work at and I teach at. So he's like, you're an instructor, you know what you're doing. I want you over there. You're better off over there. So I went over there, and while teaching and doing all my stuff there, I ran into Darius D's games, and he's the one that pushed me. Like, I was trying to do more YouTube stuff, but he was the one that pushed me. He was like, you need to get an Instagram. And so I was like, okay. So it was like June 2022 that I was like, all right, I'm going to be more consistent in this. And I did that. And next thing I know is just over a year later, I'm getting picked up by Brownells. And I was like, holy shit, what the hell is happening?
Nice. Talk about that. Talk about being picked up by Brownells.
Dude, being picked up by Brownells was like it's one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life. Like, I went through and I pushed. I'm not the best out there, right? I'm not going to claim I'm the best out there. Nothing like that. But I'm pretty decent. I'll give myself that. You know, I'm at least a 7. We'll give me that. So it's like, that see these guys, you know, Brownells, they have a huge following and stuff behind them, and that they picked me up was like, there's so many other people that are better than me that they could have picked up, and they didn't. They picked me up, so it was a good feeling. It threw off what I was doing though, because once I was picked up by Brownells, I was like, all right, I need to just push Brownells all the time, and I started drifting off of where I originally started that Brownells picked me up for. So I wasn't doing the things I usually did, and then when I was like, I don't understand what's going on, like, this is hard and stuff, and then the squad drills guys, Gamage, you know who Gamage is, Jay, these games, they're like, just do you, man, just be you. And I was like, well, you know, be me, I swear. And they can't really post that. I don't understand why they can't post it. You know, I'm being vulgar. Got it. But it's like, I'm trying to balance this thing, and they were just be you. And I was like, all right. So I'm going to go back to that. So I went back to that, and things have been a lot better since I was just like, just be me.
All right, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Now, how about what kind of things do you have planned for the future for Sergeant Mayhem?
So I have a few things planned. I can't say one of them, which is the biggest plan. But I do have a few things planned. I want to push more. Like, guns are great. Guns are good. Cool, but the thing that people don't realize is when it came to us being soldiers and Marines or whatever we were in the military, guns were a big part, absolutely, but that wasn't the only part. We had to know at least how to work our radio so we could intercommunicate. We had to know fitness. We had to know tactics. We had to know combatives, how to deal. What if our gun failed and we're hand to hand? We had to learn all these things to get to that point,
right?
You know, to be very effective, and not just effective, but very effective in combat. So that's kind of my push. Like, I had this idea since I got out, which was known as the Swamp Devils, because I'm in Florida and there's a lot of swamp.
Yeah.
But that was the idea: was you're self-efficient, you're your own first responder, you know, medical, you know, all these other things. Cell phone towers go down, no problem. I can show you how to communicate to somebody in California with no cell phone. Like, that's stuff that people need to know and need to learn, because it's right there. It's easily accessible. And while they're spending all their time looking at everything else, they're not realizing all it takes is one little thing. A solar flare can knock out everything in the United States and the world. You don't know. So it's not like, I don't spend a bunch of money on guns because I'm spending more money on that kind of stuff. I have the guns I need to survive. What I'm looking at is what food, communications, medical, training, all that other stuff. Where can I spend the money there?
Right on.
So that's 2024 coming in.
Right on, bro. Right on. Hey, can you let everyone know where they can find you online if anyone wants to look you up?
Yeah, so I'm on Facebook and Instagram, it's just at Sarge Mayhem. On Twitter, or what do they call it, X now? That one's Sarge_Mayhem. I'm on that. I'm also on YouTube at Mayhem Defense Group is the channel. You can find it, and that's where I post all my stuff.
All right, bro. All right. Now, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up here. But do you have any final words that you'd like to say to the people, to the listeners and viewers?
The only thing that I have to say is there's two great things I learned in the military was, one, failure to prepare is preparing to fail. And if you're the smartest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room.
All right. I like that. I like that, bro. I like that. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 71 with Sergeant Mayhem. He let us know about his story, serving in the Army, serving 2 tours in Afghanistan, and he's a hell of a guy. He's also a hell of an influencer. He represents Brownells. He's a big influencer now, and he's growing day by day.
I would say big. I'm growing, not big.
Hey, no.
I'm a grower, not a shower.
When I say it, you're big in my eyes, because I've seen your content, and everything that you do, I can tell from your movements that you're a war veteran, bro. I can tell from the way you move, the way you do the things you do. It looks like functionally damn near perfect. So it's like, that's what I'm looking for. So in my eyes, bro, I put you on a pedestal. You're up there.
I appreciate it.
You're one of the up and comers in the game, bro. Big time.
I'm trying.
All right.
I'm trying for sure.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 71 with Sergeant Mayhem. Sergeant, thank you for coming on the show, boss. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, man. Thank you for your schedule, and I wish you nothing but continued success as you continue on your journey, bro.
I appreciate you too, man.
All right, bro. Have a good one now. You take care.
You too. Stay safe, stay frosty.
All right. Salute. All right. That'll do it for this episode. Episode 71.
All I know is war. All I know is shoot. All I want is more, but I got some things to do. I'm a dog of war. Hell's what I've been through. I'm a dog of war. I did it all for you. I'm a soldier, I'm a warrior. Got an emblem on my cover. And ask me what I did for ya. I put the trash deep down under. Yeah, I'm a dog of war. Hell's what I've been through. I'm a dog of war. I did it all for you.
Took some time in the place, man. I just needed some space. All the pain showing my